The comms crackled with static, a mocking echo of the distress calls that had bled into the void for weeks. My reflection stared back from the console, a haggard ghost bathed in the dim emergency lighting. Around me, the Icarus's bridge was a tomb of flickering screens and hushed anxiety. 1 week. That's all the life support had left. 1 week before the thin atmosphere turned lethal, before hope withered and died. Then it appeared. Not gradually, not emerging from the inky blackness like a newborn star. It simply was. A sphere of absolute darkness, so pure it seemed to suck the light from the surrounding space. No swirling nebulae reflected on its surface, no telltale glimmers of geological activity. Just black. The void, the black, the devil's heart. Whatever cursed name the stories gave it, it was real, and it was impossibly close. A collective gasp rippled through the bridge. Lieutenant Perez, usually the picture of stoic competence, stammered, "Captain, what is that?" "I don't know, Lieutenant," I said, my voice a dry rasp, "but we don't have a lot of options left." The stories. Gods, the stories. They whispered of monstrous creatures, impossible landscapes, and a fate worse than death. No one returned. The void swallowed them whole. Yet here we were, drifting helplessly towards its event horizon. "Captain, are you suggesting we land there?" Perez asked, her voice laced with disbelief. I ran a hand over my tired face. "We're out of fuel, Lieutenant. Life support is failing. Rescue is unlikely. Dying slowly in the vacuum of space. Is that preferable?" The silence that followed was heavy with unspoken dread. Then, from the back of the bridge, a hesitant voice spoke. It was Alara, our young astrobiologist. "Captain, if those stories are true, even partially, there's a chance we could learn something incredible. Something that could change everything." Her naivete was almost endearing, but beneath the fear and desperation, a spark of that same recklessness ignited within me. "Prepare for atmospheric entry," I ordered, my voice regaining a semblance of command. The descent was agonizing. The Icarus, crippled and malfunctioning, shuddered and groaned under the strain. As we pierced the planet's atmosphere, a thick, acrid air choked the ship. The exterior temperature climbed to unbearable levels, the hull screaming in protest. Finally, with a bone-jarring crash, we landed. The exterior cameras were useless, blinded by something that wasn't quite dust, wasn't quite smoke, but a tangible darkness. It clung to the viewports, obscuring everything beyond. I ordered a scan of the immediate surroundings. The results were unsettling. "Captain, the scans are inconclusive," reported Ensign Davies, his voice trembling. "The readings are fluctuating wildly. There's energy down there, but it's chaotic." We breached the main hatch, stepping out onto a landscape that defied description. The ground was a black, obsidian-like substance, cracked and fractured like ancient bones. No sun shone overhead, but a faint internal luminescence pulsed from the very ground beneath our feet, casting long, distorted shadows that danced with a life of their own. The air was heavy with the stench of sulfur and something else, something ancient and malevolent. We moved cautiously, weapons drawn, the silence broken only by the crunch of our boots on the alien terrain. Then we saw it. A structure, or rather what remained of a structure. Colossal, cyclopean stones carved with glyphs that screamed of forgotten horrors. A city, once magnificent, now reduced to ruins swallowed by the encroaching darkness. As we explored, the atmosphere began to change. The internal luminescence intensified, bathing the ruins in an eerie, pulsating glow. The glyphs on the stones seemed to writhe and shift before our eyes, whispering secrets in a language we couldn't understand, yet felt in the deepest recesses of our minds. One by one, the crew began to succumb. First it was Davies, then Perez. Their eyes glazed over, their faces contorted in silent screams. They spoke in tongues, uttering pronouncements of doom and praising entities whose names were better left unsaid. The darkness had seeped into their minds, twisting them into grotesque parodies of their former selves. I tried to fight it, to resist the encroaching madness. But the planet was inside my head now, a parasitic presence feeding on my fear and despair. Ilara, bless her innocent heart, was the only one who remained untouched, her eyes wide with a terrified fascination. "We have to get out of here," I croaked, my voice barely a whisper. But it was too late. The ground began to tremble. The sky, if you could call it that, pulsed with an unholy light. From the depths of the ruined city, something was awakening. Something vast and ancient. Something that had slumbered for eons, waiting for its next meal. Ilara grabbed my hand, her touch surprisingly strong. "There's no escape," she said, her voice eerily calm. "But maybe we can understand." And then, the darkness consumed us. I saw it then, a vision of unimaginable horror, a glimpse into the abyss that lay at the heart of the void. I understood the whispers of the glyphs, the purpose of the city, the hunger of the entity that now held us in its thrall. We were not explorers. We were sacrifices. We were not going to die. We were going to become. The Icarus never reported back. The void remained, a silent testament to the arrogance of humanity and the unimaginable horrors that lurk in the shadows of the galaxy. And somewhere, in the heart of that black planet, Ilara and I, we continue to serve, whispering secrets, awaiting the arrival of the next unsuspecting souls.